Hey, Boss Dragon Metals here. Today I will be painting the next stage on a Chaos Space Marine. That will be the shades and detailing. Be using some bone colour, that strong tone wash there, which is also a bit of a glaze really, it's a bit shiny. It will make the gold a bit less shiny and more bronzed. As you can see, it's very shiny compared to that on the finished models. And some Nurgle's Rot, which is an effect, like that skull there, which has Nurgle's Rot on it. So, painting them stages today. Only another stage left after this, that being highlighting, my least favourite stage. So, that's where I am so far. Focus. This has already been tidied up with matte black in all the lines. So first off, some bone colour. This is a very creamy sort of colour. Bit of floof on there off my bunny. Where is she? Oh, no she's not. Fair enough. Skull on the servitor, which is a sort of living guardian, or a warrior that was too cool to die, or some such. So I'll be painting half of that skull, the other half is golden. I'll also be doing these horns. So, skull first. Horns will be dry brush, and this skull is got a layering on it. So a nice layer all over, basically. Both sides. On the Iron Halo servitor. I assume it probably in game terms would give protections or some sort of sensor telemetry, targeting and whatnot. So, dry this. Want it dry, not too much on there. Over the horns now. Bit too much on there. The horns will also be washed. Just want a bit of brown to show from underneath. Probably do these horns a metallic colour if you like. But I like it in this sort of form. Dry brushed, as it fits with the theme of all my other ones, and it's what I've been doing. So, as I said, they will also be receiving a wash of strong tone. Get all those nooks and crannies on the horns. So it's sort of fiddly. Anything I miss I will touch up later. So there's the horns. Cool. Well, that's all of that on the bleached bone. Actually not that much at all, just a couple of details really. Dry brush for this I want. I'll be using this strong tone shade. Losing a lot of this. So, it's a bubble. There we go. Now, splash this all over, in all the metallic areas, and all of the gold. This will be tidied up as well. This will give definition to all the parts and gubbins and components and whatnot. Definition is good. As I said, there's only another stage left of this, the highlighting stage, which will be lots of grey and black. Show you how to highlight black. It can be kind of tricky actually, and it is messy. Nice blob on that, on these on that chevron on his helmet. And the horns also. It will pick out all the gaps and crenulations, as you can see, and the horns look very cool once you apply a wash. It all looks sort of messy until fully done, as you've noticed, through these painting stages. It's just the way it is. Until they're fully finished, it'll look kind of messy. Which is, you know, expected. I've got some on them on me. Shouldn't dry out this wash. Bit of glaze, I'd say it's a bit of brown mixed with black, and some medium, which is the stuff you got in paint. It's basically pigmentless paint. You can buy that stuff, medium. Painting medium for making your own paints on a palette, which I do sometimes. If I'm running low on a certain colour I need more of. It does happen, and is a handy thing to know. Paint going inside of these little gaps on the servitor helmet thing. Don't want that. All the vents on the helmet. And metallic gubbins on the backpack, which is actually a nuclear reactor of sorts. Plasma reactor probably inside it. It's the year 30,000 these things are from, after all. You can see it very fiddly and very small. Finish this backpack and then I'll get back to the front. Looks much cooler once it's dry, because then you can see all the definition and details and all the ribs and cables and vents and such, like you can on them ones. Which this one will look like, as this is the leader dude. Right, the leather, that was the first thing painted. Now it will actually look like leather with a wash upon it. The back side of the leather scabbard as well. Get all that gold. All that gold done. The armour pads, which are made of a material called adamantium, which is that Wolverine stuff. And plasteel, which is plastic steel. I have no idea how that's possible, or is the super deep future. But pretty cool concept, I suppose. And it would be the ultimate material, wouldn't it? Steel plastic. But that doesn't exist as far as I know. Under the chest there's lots of cablings, like that cool sort of belt. Yeah, well, focus. See the belt, you can see all the definition on it now, as well as the gun. It's all coming along quite nicely with this wash. The leg pads now. The boots. The phone is making strange sounds. That's okay. Probably just one of the games or something updating me. Your dude has fallen down a hole. One of them messages, or some such. As I said, using quite a lot of this wash, that's why I put a big blob there. It's all this silver and nice sort of browning upon it all. Make it look aged and worn, as these are 10,000-year-old warriors, or thereabouts. Evil super soldiers of the highest caliber. Ancient. Pretty much gods in their own right. Well, so the beings I'd like to think, they all have like backstories and stuff people write for them. In fact, there's a whole library called Black Library. It's a Games Workshop thing. Lots of novels and such to do with these warriors. I've read a few. They're pretty good, actually. Considering. Yes, I read books. How old-fashioned is that? But not often. Because I'm always doing things like this, or melting metal, or scrapping for more. After all, in Britain, nobody's going to get to retire. Retirement by 70, apparently. What's the point? Since you'll probably be dead by the time you're 90 or something, so what, 20 years of not so mobile lifespan? That's crap. So, better off making your own savings, I reckon. Pouring metal's a good way to do that, as it goes up and down in value. Things like war and such also increase its value, which is, pretty common. Countries threatening other countries and whatnot. That makes the price of gold and even cheaper metals like aluminium have gone up. Well, in billet form anyway. CNC machine aluminium. There's me banging on about metallurgy. Wrong video. Some more on them horns. I want to give them a bit more definition. I do want the bone and the brown to show through. Should run and do and paint. Gun's not done there fully. The scabbard and the pouches and such. Belt. I haven't done these bits on the backpack. Lots of tiny bits that you could miss. Okay, they're all done by the looks of it. And the swash, glaze, I guess. Bit of both. Some definition there. Okay. Oh, I haven't done that knuckle thing. Oh, yeah. It's like a spiked knuckle. Anyway, the washes are done. Well, that didn't take as long as I thought it would. As you can see, it's all wet at the moment. Once that dries, it will look the same as the other ones. The armour. All rustic and aged. So to compare to what it'll look like when it's dry. Oh, focus. Try and touch my phone now. Oh, never mind, it's focused. Typical. Anyway, there we go. As you can see, the shading will look very similar This one's got flesh though, obviously, as opposed to this cool horned helmet and iron halo. He's got a severed human skull covered in goo. Very gross. I'll show how to do these bases. These arboreal bases with all that squishy lichen and grasses and such. Grass patches. It looks sort of like a dark, evil forest sort of thing, which is what I was going for. Which is, you know, let's be honest, a cool thing. So, last thing left. Do recommend this paint. It's actually quite cheap and better than Games Workshop, if you ask me. These pots only cost a couple of pound, if that. A little bit extra with delivery. Whereas these things, they can set you back stupid price, like double the price of these, maybe even triple. Do last though, it's quite thick paint, and it is slightly higher quality, but just that, it's only slightly higher quality than the Army Painter paint, which is a lot cheaper, and you get the same amount for your money. So you can get twice the amount of paint, really. This stuff's gooey. Oh, terrible day today. Very windy and wet and raining. So, stuck painting. Don't want too much of this, as you can use very strong colour. Just want it on this servitor. Bit here and there to make it look rotten. Yeah, I'm happy with that. There's a nice rot effect on that, it's very cool. Tiny bit more. Where should we put that? We'll put a little smidge somewhere else. Oh, vent. Let's go for a vent on the backpack. As it's all tainted and evil and rotten. And this ancient warrior. Bit bright on there. Just some of that off, there we go. Cool. So, that's that. On the details. I know not much details on the bone and the Nurgle's rod. It is the effect I use. Not many is usually best. Don't want to have too much details, otherwise it'll distract from the entire model, as everyone will be looking at one specific thing. So, there we go. Wash is done. All the definition has been picked out. The horns and white bits have been done. Still needs tidying up a little bit. I'll do that next before I begin the highlighting stage. And in the next one after that, I will show how to make them cool arboreal basing theme. So have a little look at that again with a different dude. One with more leaves. Ah, there we go. I will show how to do that lovely effect. Very natural looking. Also, going to be painting some other models. These termagants got a nice hood here, which I will make a diorama with those Chaos Space Marines. I'll have to fight this sizable horde of termagants, which are Tyranids. They're sort of like horse things that shoot flesh burrowers from those nasty guns. So these evil dudes will have their work cut out in game terms, fighting a large group. Anyway, enough painting nerd stuff. Well done. I'll see you next time.